Did you guys know that Oraxia can do this? Yeah, that's pretty wild. I just want to start off by saying that this is a bit of a wacky build, and there's a reason why I didn't use Arcane Guardian. You could, especially in addition, but let's cover the pet first, because I was using the pet. We're gonna make it really quick. A Doriga setup, you can just take a quick peek at that. Got the Hellstrom. You already know what it does. Most people who watch me regularly already know. And we got heat on the micro-missile explosion. So, I have 4 armor shards. And a casting speed. And for those of you who don't have Oraxia yet, let's take a look at her abysmal armor. Yeah, 125. Now hey, if you want a shield gate with her, by all means. She can absolutely shield gate with a value that low easily, and you probably don't even need Catalyzing Shields mod. So whatever percentage of armor bonus you're going to try to add through mods is just not going to work. You need a flat increase of armor, right? And, well, that's what these Archon Shards do. So let's take a look at the build here. I was very stubborn about this. Like I said, this is a rather silly build. And let me demonstrate to you what I'm talking about here. The percentage of armor is off of the base. Look at how tiny the increase is here. That's nothing. And the reason that I'm not using Guardian specifically is because, even though yes, it is a free 900 armor, the thing is, you have to get hit first. And with shields that abysmal, if it doesn't proc straight away, you're just gonna get slammed. You're gonna get absolutely smacked. In most cases, in Bestial Path, if you already have a decent chunk of armor, that 15% proc chance is fine. But if, you don't, especially if violence comes around, and he throws you out of your spood mode, then what? Which is also why I have Arcane Grace here, because whenever violence comes around, Molt Reconstruct is very, very good, but you can't get your health back because you can't cast abilities. But, Molt Reconstruct would be just fine. If, as soon as you see the flashy stuff, you're just gonna go up to the ceiling and then just shoot him, that's fine too. And I have been, personally, switching back and forth from Molt Reconstruct and Grace, because in certain boss fights and certain assassinations, there are not going to be enemies for you to kill with her one in order to force drop health orbs. So, this is why I'm using this specifically. And of course, Umbral Vitality again. Yes, she has plenty of health in spood mode, but again, if you're not paying attention to your casting, or you get hit by a nullifier and then several purple rings, then what? All of your health is gone whenever you're out of her spood mode. So, that is also why we have Umbral Vitality for her regular mode. And this is plenty for Bestial Path. Because if you're trying to just survive on her invisibility alone, via wall latch, you can do it. But like I said, Archon Vitality is mainly there for her for survivability, but it also does drastically boost her spood mode health pool to 5,000. And if you modify Void Sling, it pushes it up to the low 6 grands. Oh my gosh, it makes her spood mode even more tanky. And this is great. I love it. I'm just flying through the map, having a good time, smashing everything. And for whenever stuff gets hairy, I can just wall latch for invisibility. You have very comfortable survivability for Bestial Path. Because we all know that at a certain point, health tanks will just absolutely get destroyed in one shot in this game. But for fun, which is the whole purpose of a game, and for comfort, this will absolutely work. And then we have Archon Continuity, because we're doing Toxin everywhere. So, adding a bit of corrosive is always helpful. Summoner's Wrath, because this build is also a minion build, and because the armor is all based off of the shards, well, you can just use whatever build you want. Power Drift just for a little bit extra power strength. Knockdown resistance doesn't matter, because her form makes her status resistant. And we got Kamisado, because this is a minion build. Blind Rage for strength. Streamline, because Blind Rage takes some ability efficiency. More strength. Prime Flow to give her a bigger energy pool. Equilibrium for energy sustain. Coupled with, of course, using her one every chance we get. And adaptation for another layer of defense. Now, this build is not for everybody. It's definitely not. But if you want her to be a consistent health tank, as of right now, before any hotfixes come out for her, and I recorded this on June 29th, before any other changes come out, so, who knows what kind of update she's going to get, in the following weeks. You could log in tomorrow, or the next day, and find out that her essentially non-existent armor base value is pumped up to 600 or 700, and then you're not going to need all of this. This is just more so a proof of concept that she can and will be a solid health tank, provided she actually has the armor there. So, that's the build, that's what I'm running. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the proof of this viability here, and enjoy. Again, this build is not for everybody, this is just a drastic thing that I did. You can switch it around however you want. Enjoy. Now, as far as subsumes go, I found myself not really using the webs very much at all. I don't recommend subsuming off her 1, because it's her only way to quote-unquote melee attack in her 4. But if you don't care about her scuttlers at all, if you're not going to be using a summoner-type build, you can subsume that off, but don't get rid of her 4. Don't get rid of her 4. Her whole thing is that she's a spider. Come on now. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's meant to be spider fun. Web slinging around everywhere. So, I highly suggest against subsuming her 4. There are some builds that I've been seeing so far where they take off her 1, and, they make it work. But I personally found myself not really using the webs that much because I was already just destroying everything. Without the extra damage vulnerability. The crowd control tool that it does offer is cool, and aesthetically, having webs sprawled all across the ground is cool. So if you like it, and you're not going to summon spiders, or if you get frisky with it, you can take off her 1. But this is the choice that I made. Why this works. Basically, because I still have the scuttlers, all the damage they're doing, and then that I'm doing, really works well with Breach Surge to spread across everybody else, and then whenever all of the enemies die, because we're going to be in her 4 most of the time, they explode with Toxin, which is even more AoE. And, I just did this for fun. There's no need, honestly, to subsume anything off of her kit. She is amazing. As she is, like, she feels really good to play. But if you are gonna subsume something, you can do whatever you like. I also would not recommend trying to full strip via green shards, because whenever you get a high enough power strength, and of course, you know, you're gonna be shooting everything, Scuttlers out, and especially if you're gonna run her Scuttler specifically, there's no need. Everything dies before they get fully armor stripped anyway, in Bestial Path. If you're gonna take it to higher level, I don't know about that, so it's up to your discretion. But as far as Bestial Path goes, you don't need a full armor strip at all. Things just melt away. If you want even more minions, you can have Inaros' Pocket Sand, because with his augment, Desiccation's Curse, killing a blinded enemy with a finisher has a 100% chance to summon a Swarm Kavat that will spread Scarab Swarm. Maximum Swarm Kavats +2. You can have Sand Cats and Vicious Spiders everywhere. But other than that, that's the build, guys. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope this video has helped you to enjoy Oraxia and Warframe overall a bit more. I hope y'all have a good day, a good night, and may RNG be in our favor.